Greetings, truth seekers. Today, we're talking about the Lotus.
Hey, what is this? Who are you?
Man, don't worry about him. He always talking crazy.
It's a conspiracy, man. The Lotus is lying to us. He's trying to kill us, man.
Well, you may actually be onto something, Conspiracy Loki. Let me prove it to you. Today, it is time to turn around the most unquestioned assumption Tenno have had since the start of the game. Well, that wasn't until the Apostasy prologue, of course, but that aside, we're talking the Lotus. Our good, caring, and trustworthy space mom has secretly been lying to us all this time. Don't believe me? Well, you better, as this is not just a conspiracy. I can even prove that the lie started with the very first line we ever heard the Lotus say. So get ready and get suspicious, as who knows what else she might be hiding. As you start up the game for the very first time, the Lotus will tell you the following.
For generations you've slept. No purpose. No call to wake you.
Soon after, you wake up from your cryopod to find a Grineer, or so you assume. Because later on during the second dream, it's revealed that this is not you. This is your Warframe, whilst you, the Tenno, have been hidden away in the Void Reservoir. So, is this the line I'm talking about? Well, no, that'd be kinda lame honestly, but it does have something to do with you waking up in the second dream. When you dropped out of your pod, the screen goes dark, and in the next cut you're seen crawling to your Warframe. And this, fellow Tenno, this should not be possible. You see, when a human body remains inactive for longer periods of time, during for example a coma or in my case a long weekend, it has several effects on the body, one of which is called muscle atrophy. Muscle atrophy is basically the decrease of muscle mass due to inactivity. It's a condition that can set in as quickly as 48 hours. Though the decrease itself is pretty slow, over time it can result in the person becoming weaker or even unable to perform basic actions if they wake up again. Now, even though Tenno possess the special ability to use transference, physically they're not much different than any human, meaning that all this time that they were inactive in the pod, they were suffering the same conditions as we would in that situation. So then our question is, how long can a human stay inactive and still crawl away when they wake up? The answer is just between 1 to 2 years at best, depending on how fit they were when they went inactive and how quickly their muscle mass decreases. Now, there are ways of slowing the decrease down. One of the most common methods is called neuromuscular electrical stimulation, or NMES, where with the use of electrical shocks, muscles are forced to contract and thus move. It's something frequently used in hospitals, and looking at the high-tech pod that we came from, very likely to have been implemented as well. Other methods though are quite frankly not possible, as there would have been no room for something like physiotherapy, and unlike with our Warframe, there are no signs of temperature differences indicating cryosleep. So assuming your Tenno was the most buff Tenno in the system and had the best enemy as possible, how long could you have sat in that pod and still crawl out of it? Well, I checked with experts and the result is no more than 3 years. Which means that unless the Lotus is talking about ants, there is no way we could have slept for generations. Proving
that the Lotus is trying to kill. It's a conspiracy, man.